won't copy. Yes.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, regarding the change control board. In reality, in what instances that we may deny or not accept the change order like that?
Not you decide. Not you decide. The change control board will decide. The change control board has given authority to reject or approve the changes.
After before it will pass to the say we have a project management, we have consultant, and then we have contractor. Meaning before they will going to send to the contractor, because the contractors sometimes no right to deny. They will always, in reality, we will always accept. We will always do any instructions from the client like that.
When they are giving you certain items to change, what are doing? You are doing the analysis. You are doing the impact analysis. What is the impact? How much
impact, cost impact, time
how much
impact,
the time
schedule
impact?
It's
all part of the change management procedure. You have to do that part. And then taking this, and then consultant analysis, and then all inputs are taken, and then we are presenting to the change control board. That's the step. That's what I said here. When
so meaning usually it comes from the decisions from the client side. Okay.
Correct. But before the client take decision, all are giving input. They're all sitting down and discussing these items with the options of actions available in our hand. Then only he is taking a decision.
And then they will pass it through
and then they will give you the variation order.
Yes.
That's what the change control for decision actually. The final document is your engineer instruction with the variation order. That's the final result of the change control board action. Okay. In actual practice, you are going through the paperwork, everybody is giving input, and finally client accepts and signs and issues the engineer instruction, right?
Yes.
That's the actual practice. But in reality, what is happening is we are sitting down in workshops. They are not taking decision alone. We're sitting down in workshop. We're sitting down with the consultant, project manager, contractor, and the key members of the team. All are sitting down, analyzing the various options of action. It's all part of these steps.
But for not for all projects like that.
Most of the projects it's being done in this manner. That's why we want you to develop the plan, and everybody will follow the procedure. And they will automatically, the process is happening automatically. So you will not feel like it is happening. It is already happening in the background. You may not be involved. The key managers generally involved there.
Okay. So
let's go into the process. Let's look at the process. So when I want to perform the integrated change control, what I need to have in my hand?
Project management plan.
Project management plan. The key components of the project management plan we can utilize in this process: change management plan, configuration management plan, scope baseline, schedule baseline, cost baseline. These are the key components here. And the other documents like basis of estimates, requirement traceability matrix. Why you need requirement traceability matrix? When you are changing certain items, you must know what requirements are affected, what requirements are changed, who are the stakeholders who have defined these requirements. We must know. Then only we can improve them in our change management exercise. So we gain their inputs while we are performing the change management. Otherwise, the stakeholder doesn't involve, then he is not going to accept in the change control board, or they may not. You may not get the right decision for managing the change. That's why we want to include the stakeholders in this process, which is available. Who are the stakeholders need to be involved in this process can be seen from the requirement traceability method. Correct?
Yes.
Risk report. So when we talk about the risk report, it will tell you what all those currently we are facing, what is the happening of the risk is happening, increasing, decreasing, what action is ongoing on the various risks happening in the project, which is available there. When we are talking about any changes, this new change may induce a new risk to the project or may increase the impact of the existing risk while you are making the changes in the project. So which has to be analyzed. That's why we are taking the risk report information also while you are performing the change. Clear?
Why not the risk register instead?
In the risk report, we have the documented actions ongoing currently, which is the analysis of the implement risk response plan, monitor risk process. These two results are documented in the risk report. Whereas in the risk register, you don't have that information.
Okay.
As I told you, in the 5th edition, we have documented other information into the risk register. In the 6th edition, they changed it. They created one more output, risk report, where they are documenting the implementation, monitoring risk, all this being updated into the risk report so that we can understand the overall risk impact created in on the project. See the third input? While you are managing the changes, one of the key information is what is our current performance? What is our current performance? Which is available in the work performance report. Why you need this? When I'm taking decision, when the change control board taking decisions, I am in a say 2-month delay currently. I'm already taking action to recover this delay. The change you are introducing now, it is going to create another 5 months delay. Or it's creating a 5-month cost impact. Do we afford to it? Are we able to afford total 8 months delay for this project? That will be taken as a primary concern while they're taking decision. So they will also look at the current work performance report while they are analyzing the options proposed by the project team in managing the changes. See the 4th input? Change report. That's the key. So in this process, what is our input? Change report. Where is this coming from? Where is the change request coming from? Fellows, God said to me, change request, I manage. Where is it coming from? Which process gives you this? All the execution processes may initiate a change request. All the monitoring control processes may initiate a change request.
Right.
Or it may be from the stakeholders. Correct?
Correct.
So all the change requests only must bring to this process only. That's all. You know what to do now. Enterprise environmental factors, many factors may affect us, our ability in managing the changes. Organizational processes, we may use our previous project lessons learned data or register. So how we have managed those changes in the first project, what kind of action we have taken, how it helped us in improving the performance, how we have managed to reduce the impact on the project. All these informations were available in the first project lessons learned register. I can utilize them. Look at the tools and technique. Expert judgment again.
Yes, everything.
Change control tools. You may have a automatic system. You have automatic change control procedures. You have process steps. What documents to be provided? Who has to perform this? The contractor has to perform the impact analysis. It has to be reviewed by the technical consultant. It has to be reviewed by the project management consultant. And then we agree on the actions. And then go to the change control board. These are the steps. It will show you how it is to be performed, the change control exercise. That's called change control tools. The other technique is data analysis, which is alternative analysis, cost benefit analysis, can be utilized. Decision-making techniques. One of the decision-making techniques is voting process. How the change control board take decision? We have used this technique, voting process, or autocratic decision-making. Say sponsor say, no, I want this change. Whatever the time impact, cost impact, I will assume responsibility. I am ready to provide you. That's his decision. So autocratic decision. It is one person taking decision. That's called autocratic decision. Multi-criteria decision analysis. What is that? When you are making a decision, you need to consider scope, you need to consider time, you need to consider the cost, you need to consider the quality, you need to consider the risk. So we may consider different factors, we may give weightage for different factors, and then finally arrive at, okay, let's go for this decision. Let's go for this, making this change. That's called multi-criteria decision analysis. The most commonly used technique is meetings, which is generally change control board meetings. What is the result?
Yes. After meetings, we will approve the change requests.
Approved change request is the result of this process. No other process you get this result. Only this process gives you the approval of all the changes. So you will see approved change request only in this process. Out of 49 processes, only in this process you can get the approval. Whereas all other processes from execution or monitoring control will only propose change request. Whereas we get approval of these changes only in this process. It is approved changes. Basically, it's approved or rejected.
So that's why sorry, sir. So that's why in the monitor and control project works, the change request is not in the input. Yeah, that's it. Huh?
Because the monitoring control process requests the changes, and it comes to this process.
Okay, that's clear. Yeah.
All the monitoring control processes, including monitoring control processes, all may propose a change. When we are proposing changes in the monitoring control project work process, it may be proposed actions for improving the overall performance. But when you are proposing change requests in the scope control, you are only proposing changes to manage the scope performance only. Or manage the cost performance and control cost, or control schedule, control quality, and so on. But when we are proposing change requests in the monitoring control project, it considers all the performance issues. They are recommending improvement action for overall performance. See the difference?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Mr. Ravi, the basis of estimate here used to compare with the baselines. I mean, to see what we have done.
When the change control board analyzes the actions proposed, they may also question you on what basis we came up with the action. So we show you sir, the basis of estimate during the planning was this. But this change, currently we are facing this situation, which is totally different from what we have assumed in the plan. So which require this action. So they can able to see.
So meaning base of estimate for the activity and the cost, correct?
Yeah, it could be duration estimation.
Schedule or cost. Okay.
Cost estimation.
Okay. And from the plans, no need for other plans at all, like the schedule.
From the plan, most of the time we require baseline and our change management procedure and revision control, the configuration management plan. How we are controlling the revision to the plans. Revision 1, revision 2, revision 3.
We have to change our plan.
That has to be properly managed.
Okay.
Otherwise, for example, what happened in this situation? We are working based on revision 3 project management plan. Whereas, when you are looking at the changes proposed, why we are having this change? Because our team wrongly implemented based on revision 2 plan. So which created this change. If the revision control is not appropriately managed, which is going to cause problems to the product deliverables. Okay, so after the approval, what will you do?
Project management plan.
You go to the updating the project management plan. So you take the approval, go to the develop project management plan process, the planning, and then you modify the plans. That's called project management plan updates and the project documents update. Most of the time, we get project change log gets updated. The change log will show you what's the change proposed, what's the change submitted, what changes approved, what changes rejected, we can see in the change log. What's the benefit of this process? It allows for documented changes within the project to be considered in an integrated manner while addressing the overall project risk, which often arises from the changes made without consideration of overall project objectives or plan. If you are keep changing without consideration of your overall objectives, without consideration of the existing approved plans, what's going to happen? You are increasing the overall project risk, right? Which we do not want. So when you are managing the changes, you are also considering the overall project risk. Then you are managing in an integrated manner, which reduces our risk in the project. It enhances your chances of achieving the project success by analyzing properly and coming up with a workable action which reduces our impact on the various elements of the project. Look at the process mapping, yes.
Yeah, Mr. Ravi. I mean, in updating the project management plan, just a quick example so we can understand more. Say we have an approved change request on any an X thing. Then how that will affect the management, let's say the schedule management plan. I know that understand the scope could be changed, the cost estimate, but how would that
baselines, sure you will know the baselines will be modified, right?
Yeah, correct.
For example, based on the strategy, we had some strategy of managing the schedule. Say for example, a simple example in a control exercise. Previously, we used to measure, during the planning we decided, we need to measure the schedule performance every 1 month. So we did this measurement for last 2 months. We identified a lot of variances. Oh, this is going to be a problem. So we have to change our control strategy. Let's go for measuring the progress weekly. So in this case, you are going to change the change management plan. You are defining the progress has to be measured weekly, based on the current analysis of the project performance. So you will change the schedule management plan. So the changes to the schedule management plan will happen, meaning you are thinking about how you are going to manage the schedule throughout the project life. How you are going to manage the schedule throughout the project life cycle, right? So it may require modification to our schedule management strategy, scope management strategy, cost management strategy, quality management strategy, all will get modified based on the approval of this change. So we generally say you need to look through. So you need to modify as necessary. Not necessarily you have to modify. If required, you modify. Otherwise, you don't need to modify. Maybe the current schedule management plan workable, okay, leave it. No problem. But we need to look at it as a overall. Whether our scheduling strategy has to change, costing strategy has to change, management strategy has to change, we have to think about it. And accordingly, we need to modify. Look at the process mapping. See here, in the input, change request coming from where? All these processes initiating the change request. You can see all these processes initiating a change request. All are coming as input into this process. Now you understand where the change requests are coming from. When we are approving it, where we are approved change request, right? There are 3 processes mainly utilized is the approved change request. The first one is direct and managed project work process. It is ensuring that approved change requests are being implemented as approved. Amen. Secondly, control quality also. We are checking here whether approved change requests are being implemented, the deliverables are produced as approved in the change control board. We are checking in the quality control. See that controlled procurement. We also, whether the sellers are implementing the approved changes as approved, we are ensuring in the controlled procurement process. Of course, we know that project management plan update and project document. Clear? See that this process interaction, how much clear within the single mapping you can understand. Right, very good. Next. Explaining. Meetings, mainly change control board meetings, approve change request. That's all. Very good. Next step, close project or phase. Close project or phase. What is close project? The close project process involves performing the project closure portion of the project management plan. What does that mean?
Closing phase of a project, part of the project.
Closing part of the project. Where it is closing part? Where we have defined the closing part?
After we have implemented.
Yes, go on. Correct.
After we have implemented all the integrated process or the project management process that we establish.
So the question is, the close project process involves performing the project closure portion of the project management plan. That's the meaning.
Yani, for example, we have a handover group, and they should, the group should gather all the information about close the project, closing the project process, documentation, etc. And they start working effectively in order to hand over the project.
On what basis they are going to prepare these documents? Based on our plan.
Yes.
Where is our plan? Where we have defined about the closure? Where we decide. What we spoke about the management plans. In the management plans, we are thinking about how we are going to plan, how we are going to execute, how we are going to measure the performance, how we are going to control. What will you do when the variances are within the control threshold? What will you do when the variances are exceeded the control threshold? How will you close the project? You already finished execution, monitoring, control. Now your question is, how will you close? You already have a strategy in each management plan. Scope management plan, schedule management plan, cost management plan, quality management plan. Everywhere you are having thinking. So you lose, that's what I'm saying, project closure portion of the project. In multi-phase projects, it closes out the portion of the project scope and associated deliverables. Phase 1 completion, you do the phase 1 closure. Phase 2 completion, you do the phase 2 closure. You don't wait for all the phases to finish to complete, start the closure, right? That's what phase of closure. Close project or phase is the process of finalizing all the activities for the project or phase or contract. The close project or process also establishes the procedure to investigate and document the reasons for action if a project is terminated before completion. Meaning, even your project is terminated in midway, still you need to perform the project closure. Okay, project is terminated, you are so happy, so you go back and sleep. No, you still need to perform the closure. At the stage of closure, termination, what is the extent of completion? What are the contractual obligations, conditions? What is the performance of this project at this stage of termination of the project? Even if it is terminated, the closure has to be performed. In order to successfully achieve this, the project manager needs to engage all the proper stakeholders in this process. As I told you before, closure is not an easy job. Lot of difficulties. You will not get the cooperation of the stakeholders in performing the closure activity. So you should define well in the closeout procedure as part of the project management plan, so that everybody should have prepared along the way of execution and control all the closeout documents.
It's a very long process.
See, here mainly the difficulty is there also. Why? One of the reason is most of the time our project stakeholders, mainly key stakeholders, are working based on the trust, like contractor and the client. They are working mainly based on the trust. Okay. But what they fail to realize is when the trust breaks, what will kick in? Contracts will kick in. When the contract kick in, but if they are not able to demonstrate that they have completed all the deliverables according to the requirements, they have achieved all their obligations under the contract. If they are not able to demonstrate, they will be in a big legal application. They will be entering into a legal battle, which is not necessary. Right?
Yes.
That's why we always insist, please prepare the closure documents along the way of work execution. Whenever you complete the deliverable, you go through the verification process, prepare the closure documents, keep it ready. So it is all part of the closure procedure. So when they come to the closure, they will be able to close the project easily. Basically closing means what? We are demonstrating that we achieved the project work according to the stakeholders' requirements. That's what we are demonstrating. When closing the project manager reviews the project management plan to ensure all the project work is completed and the project has met its objective. That's what we are demonstrating. What are the activities? Which is called administrative closure. Actions and activities necessary to satisfy the completion or exit criteria of a phase or project, like making certain that all documents and deliverables are up to date and that all issues are resolved, confirming the delivery and formal acceptance of the deliverable by the customer, ensuring all costs are charged to the project, closing project accounts, reassigning the personnel, dealing with the excess materials, relocating the project facilities, equipment, other resources, demobilization, elaborating the final project report as required by the organizational policies. The another activity is contractual closure, which is contract closure, where we are thinking about confirming the final acceptance of the seller's work, finalizing the open claims, updating the records to reflect the final results, archiving the final information for future use. Activities needed, collect our project phase records, audit process success or failure of the project, making knowledge sharing and transfer, identifying the lessons learned. Of course, identifying the lessons learned is happening throughout the project life cycle, but we are organizing and putting in a proper order the lessons learned documentation, like scope related lessons, schedule related lessons, cost related lessons, risk related lessons, seller performance related experiences. All this can be organized properly so that we can keep it for future reference. Archiving the project information for future use by the organization. All are part of the closeout activities. But when it comes to the project ending, there are 4 types of ending happening, which may be due to various reasons. Number 1, the project is completed successfully. Yes, this could be one of the ending. Secondly, the project is cancelled or killed prior to the completion. This is second situation. Or the project may evolve into the ongoing operations. The project may evolve into the ongoing operations. And no longer it exists as a project. These are the various reasons for projects coming to ending or closing. But there are 4 types of ending we must know for the examination: addition, starvation, integration, and extinction. Addition. What is addition? Projects that evolve into the ongoing operations are considered as addition. Because the project is ending due to addition. What do you mean by addition? It becomes part of their own business unit. For example, we have agreed to complete 20 deliverables in a project. When we complete 15 deliverables, customer is saying that, sorry guys, let us close the project. The remaining 5 deliverables we can handle as part of our organizational effort. We will be able to handle this remaining 5 deliverables by using our own staff. Our project team doesn't require to complete these deliverables. Let us close the project. Possible or not? That's called addition. Starvation. What is starvation? Second type of ending. While I was doing the project, suddenly they said, no, there are many situations where we are not able to support the project. We are cutting the budget by 100 million. When the budget is cut off, what does that mean? They are terminated. Basically, you are ended up with an incomplete project in your life. So what do you want? The resources are cut off, funding is cut off. What are you going to do? So no longer it exists as a project. So what we do? We close the project. That's called starvation. Third one is integration. In order to explain this type of ending, for example, say one of the developer was doing 4 projects. 2 commercial office complex and 2 residential complex. When they are moving with the midway of the project, the market condition changed. The office units in the market, plenty of office units, no takers. All are empty. Whereas there is a lot of requirements for the residential apartments. Now, high demand for the residential apartment currently. So in this case, what they will do? They will slow down the residential or the commercial project, or they may hold the commercial project. They take this money, pump it to the residential project to finish it earlier so that they can capture the market. So this kind of adjustment is called integration. So they are not cutting up totally, they are redeploying or reassignment of the resources according to the current situation of the market. That's called integration. That's why the commercial project is considered as closed currently due to this situation. That's called integration. What's the difference between starvation and integration? Starvation results in funding or resources cut off, whereas integration results in reassignment or redeployment of the resources. And they may slow down the office tower construction. They may put more resources into the residential construction. That's all reassignment or redeployment of the resources. Extinction. What is extinction? This is the best kind of ending. Here, the project has been completed. All the deliverables are accepted by the stakeholders. Do you want to stay there? No, they will kick you out. So, you have to perform the closure. Because you reach the goals of the project, and the project will be closed. It's called extinction. Let's look at the process. So when I want to perform the closure, what I need?
Project charter.
I will take from the first document, project charter, where we have defined the objectives. We define the key deliverables, so we can utilize also. Majority, project management plan. Other documents we can utilize: assumption log, basis of estimate, change log, queue log, lessons learned register, milestone list, project communications happen with the stakeholders throughout the project life cycle, quality control measurements, quality reports, requirements documentation. Now here you need to demonstrate to achieve all the requirements of the stakeholder. Risk register, risk report. Why? We need to do the final performance reporting in this process. So these are the documents will help us. See the fourth input, accepted deliverables. Where is this coming from? Accepted deliverable, where is this coming from?
Completed the deliverables accepted by the client, the customer or the client side.
Yes. Where are we getting the acceptance of the customer on the deliverable?
Scope validation?
No. Validate scope. Validate scope. That is the result. Accepted deliverable is the result of that. So that is input to the process. I explained to you the interaction before, right? Business documents, our business management plan, those documents will help us whether we achieve the business objectives. Agreements, the various agreements we made with the multiple stakeholders in the project will be taken into consideration because we also need to perform contract portion here. Procurement documentation, what is this? Our letters, contractual letters, correspondence, changes made to the contract, performance reports of the sellers, right? The notices we issue to them in all this information useful for us in performing the contract process. So we're taking procurement documentation, which is the result of the control procurement process, basically. Organizational processes, our experience from the previous similar project in the closer, what kind of problem we faced during the closer, how we can prevent such a problems, we can understand. Also, what are the experiences we have in the closer process. So we can use our previous experiences in performing the closer activities efficiently so that we can be able to close the project nicely by fulfilling all the exit criteria of the project.
Why do we need the basis of estimate, sir?
Previous experiences?
No, the basis of estimate.
Basis of estimate? Say, for example, at the final performance reporting, you are telling them we are completing the project with a 50 million over budget. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you are demonstrating. They may question you, why? We told them, during the planning, this is our basis of estimating 400 million. Okay? These are the assumptions we made to come up with the 400 million. But now, there are multi-risk has happened, we made multi-changes, all this has resulted in 450 million now.
Yeah, but this is verified in the change log. It's already in the change log approved. And
when we are doing the final analysis, what are we doing? What are the problems we face? Why we face such a problem? What kind of action we are taken? Why we taken such actions? Which are being analyzed to improve our performances, which can be done only by using the basis of estimate.
Oh. Okay.
Key benefits of the process. Okay, what we are talking about, the closer techniques, right? Expert judgment definitely is one of the techniques. We may need to use technical experts, cost management experts, reporting experts, project management experts, all these people necessary for performing the closer effectively. The other technique is data analysis, where we are using one of the techniques, document analysis. On what basis you are going to demonstrate you achieve the objective? You have to go through all our execution documents, project reporting. All this report has to be analyzed to come up with a closeout report. That's called document analysis. Regression analysis. What is regression analysis? Have you heard this? When you're talking about the acceptance of the deliverables, when they are giving you acceptance, they are not giving you blanket acceptance. Sometimes they may give you the minor corrections.
Yes.
Right? Which is, we call it as snag list. Right?
Yes.
When you look at the snag list, maybe I have 100 over snags to be attended. But we need to resolve those snags. Right? When you want to resolve these snags, it's not easy. You need to analyze the snags. Maybe 50 snags are coming from the workmanship. 20 snags are coming from design issues or
Quality.
implementation issues or methodology issues or maybe other aspects. So we need to analyze those elements. We need to group them by understanding the different nature of the items which we need to resolve, so that when we resolve a, say, material problem, so 50 over defects can be resolved. When you resolve this process problem, we can resolve 20 snags. So like that, we need to analyze, and then that's called being done through the regression analysis. So we look at the various variables related to the snags. We put it in XY axis to understand whether the variables are related to each other, they are independent variables, so that we can accordingly come up with a solution for resolving these issues to close out the problem. That's called regression analysis. Trend analysis we know, variance analysis we know, meetings. Most of the time, meetings is the technique. Why? We are sitting down in the close-up meetings and trying to collect the information and the data necessary for demonstrating the project work is completed successfully. What is the result? There are three key results basically. One is the final product service result transition. We are handing over the product to the end users for their business operation. Secondly, we are compiling our lessons learned and documenting into the lessons learned register. We are reorganizing the lessons learned register, which is called project document update. We are producing final performance reporting, demonstrating at the stage of completion what is our achievement in terms of meeting the baselines, which is demonstrating the success criteria, whether we completed the project on schedule or within the budget, or we achieved all the deliverable agreed with the stakeholders. All has to be demonstrated. And what all the problems we face, how we manage, all this can be explained. And what are the remaining outstanding issues which need to be resolved during the defect liability period, all can be documented within the final report. The fourth result is organizational process asset update. All our project records are archived properly and put it into our organizational. That's called organizational process asset, including contractual closing. So what is the key benefit of this process? The project or phase information is archived, the planned work is completed, and organizational team member resources are released to pursue the new endeavors or new projects. This process is performed once or at predefined points. That's a predefined point. Every phase we may close. That's called predefined point. Look at the process mapping. Okay. Validate scope process brings you accepted deliverables into this process. When you are producing the product, this is one of the results, it goes to the customer. And final report Organizational processes and updates, which is going into our project reports. Lessons learned register is going into our project documents. See here, the agreements is coming from conduct procurement process. Other project documents are coming from like business document, benefit management plan are coming from the project documents already available with us. Our lessons learned from the past project can be taken from. Straightforward. Meetings, generally, what is the meeting we are conducting? We are discussing about the deliverables have been accepted, validate the exit criteria have been achieved, formalize the completion of contracts, evaluate the satisfaction of the stakeholders, gathering the lessons learned, transferring the knowledge and information from the project, celebrate the success. All are being done through the meetings. Attendees may be project team members and other stakeholders involved in the project. Meeting could be face-to-face, virtual, formal, informal. Type of meetings like close-up reporting meetings, customer wrap-up meetings, lessons learned meetings, celebration meetings. These are the various meetings conducted through the closer school. So handing over the deliverables to the stakeholders. The final report should define this information. Summary level description of the project affairs, scope objectives, criteria used for evaluating the scope, and the evidence that the completion criteria were achieved. Quality objectives, the criteria used to evaluate the project and product quality, the verification actual milestone delivery dates and reason for variances. Cost objectives, including acceptable cost range, actual cost and reason for variances. Summary of validation information of the final product, service, or result, which is the acceptance documents. Schedule objectives, including whether the results achieved the benefits of the project it was undertaken to address. If the benefits are not met at the close of the stage project, the degree to which they were achieved, 80% achievement, 90% achievement. Summary of how the final product or service achieved the business needs of the project or business needs identified in the project business plan. If the business needs are not achieved at this stage, the degree to which they are achieved, and when the business needs will be achieved in future, all this can be defined. Summary of any risk and issues encountered on the project, how they were managed, and all our project documents, operational and support documents like maintenance manual, training documents, all that's part of the documents we have under the organizational processes and updates. That's called project closeout documents. That's all. So these are the toughest processes. Why? We thought about many areas because it's the integration processes. But now we have a complete picture of the integration. Let's see some questions.
Second.
Manage project risk. 4.
Manage project risk. Yes. That's not a process.
Yeah. Project management plan.
Why you choose project management management plan. Actually, where are we documenting this information defined in this question? Whenever we are analyzing the risk, we are identifying the risk, analyzing the risk qualitatively, analyzing the risk quantitatively, and then we're coming up with the risk response action. Also, we are determining the contingency reserve, management reserve, and so on. All this, where are we documenting?
Project management.
What is the result of the risk management exercise?
Response plan.
Risk register, risk register,
Risk-based
right?
plan?
And the risk report. Risk register and risk report. Where is that risk register and risk report? It is part of the project management plan. That's why the project management plan is the best answer.
But it's a confusing question, sir.
Yeah, not
Because of
confusing.
the risk. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you
There's
will
no
not see
risk baseline.
including the constraints, the assumptions.
No. Look at
response,
yeah, okay. All these are being analyzed in the risk. All this being analyzed in the risk. When you talk about the risk, what is the risk? What is the nature of the risk? Where is the source of the risk? It could be from cost constraint, it could be assumptions we made wrong, could be result in a risk. All this is being done. It's part of the risk analysis. But where are we documenting this analysis? In the risk register and the risk report. But where is that risk report and risk register? These are part of the project management. So out of the 4 options, the best option is project management.
Communicate and on. 1. Talk with team members and to understand the implications of the change.
Yes. What should be the first step? That's the question. The option 1 is the first.
Yeah. Spend less time. Project execution.
So it's a second documentation.
Yes, maybe.
Fine. Managing risk, definitely we are spending top priority time for that, right? Conflict resolution, yes. Documenting and replanning, yes. Documentation, we are not doing. The team members and other stakeholders, they are doing. We use the documentation for replanning, but we are not doing the documentation. Our less time is on documentation. That's the best answer.
Three.
Organization processes represent the learning of the person. That's correct statement. Except, huh?
Except.
Yeah, the question is except. So one statement is not correct among the 4 statements.
I would say the first one.
Number one.
Number one, yes. Number one is correct. Why? When you talk about the organizational processes, the construction industry performs differently, oil and gas industry performs differently, other IT industry performs differently. We cannot say all the industry having same kind of, right? That's why I say the first statement is not correct, all other statements are correct. Organization process can be organized differently depending on the type of industry, organization, and the application. Easiest question.
Charter.
Project charter. Validated defect repair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Validated defect.
Because you are rectifying defects.
Out of the four options, see which option related to the contract management.
Change to the contract change control system.
Contract change control system. Where it depends how the contract will be changed, and that's called contract change control system. Very good. We are done with the integration management.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, now we are going into questions. Yes. Tell me.
Regarding the cost benefit analysis, sir, can you, under data analysis, can you give me some example, very realistic,
Okay.
say into
What
the
is
project?
Cost benefit analysis. Let's see what is cost benefit analysis first.